Well, Kieran, General John Kelly isn't just any old former enemy of Donald Trump spouting vitriol. He was a close confidant of the former president, having served as his chief of staff. So the revelations today are probably about as close to Trump's inner circle as you can get. And they are damning because Kelly has confirmed many of the allegations that Donald Trump has repeatedly denied. Namely, here's some: that he did look down on disabled veterans. He didn't want to be seen photographed alongside amputees, Kelly said. That he called service members who were injured or killed in action, that he dismissed those as losers and suckers. And crucially, Kelly says that Donald Trump spoke positively about Hitler, quoted him as saying that Hitler did some good things too. Well, Kelly was asked in the article in the New York Times whether or not he believed Donald Trump was a fascist, and Kelly said that yes, he believed that Trump was a far-right authoritarian figure who clearly admired dictators, which he said he believed did fit the general definition of a fascist. Clearly all of this is perfect fodder for his rival Kamala Harris, who interrupted her schedule today to make remarks about Kelly's revelations. Let's hear those.
It is clear from John Kelly's words that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, who in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas. Donald Trump is increasingly unhinged and unstable.
Well, Kelly said that he made these comments, decided to go public today because Donald Trump has recently been repeating his plan to use the American military to go after his so-called domestic enemies from within, which Kamala Harris said today included judges, journalists, and election officials who simply didn't agree with him or perhaps give him the result that he wants. She is hoping, of course, that that voters will heed these dire warnings 13 days ahead of the general election here in America. But I should tell you that the polls, nevertheless, have Donald Trump and Kamala Harris neck and neck.
Siobhan Kennedy. Well, it seems this is another US presidential election with accusations of foreign interference. This time, though, it involves the UK. Donald Trump has lodged a complaint after his team picked up a social media post by the Labour Party appealing for volunteers to travel to America to help the Democrat campaign. Here's our political editor, Gary Gibbon.
Well, US law says that there can't be foreign donations into American political campaigns. And if a foreigner is going over and working for a campaign, they have to be volunteering, not compensated in any way. Now, Labour say they categorically have not broken those rules, but the online ad, which has caught the eye of Donald Trump's lawyers, which a Labour official put up last week, was either sloppily worded or doing something closer to what Donald Trump's lawyers think was going on. They say, you look at some of the language in that, and it suggests there are some spots still available for volunteers to come over to add to the near 100 that have already gone over. And they say spots suggests there's some sort of scarcity value to this, maybe even some sort of compensation. As I say, Labour say categorically they haven't broken these rules, but the letter has gone off to the American Federal Election Commission and calling for an immediate investigation, and that commission has in the past upheld such complaints, one against the Australian Labour Party for sending people over, helping them financially to go over to the States and work for Bernie Sanders. What is actually going on here? Well, unquestionably, given the timing, a lot of politics. Donald Trump's aides, when they were briefing this out to the American media, talked about help going to Kamala Harris's campaign from the far left Labour Party. And it's probably particularly satisfying for Donald Trump's lawyers to cast aspersions of foreign interference on another campaign when in the past, of course, those allegations have been thrust towards Donald Trump. Keir Starmer was asked about all of this on what must seem to him an interminable flight over to Samoa for that Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting that he's heading off to. He said, does this jeopardise your personal relationship with President Trump? He answered no. An answer that conveys a certainty which he cannot possess, as we are near 2 weeks the possibility of Donald Trump, one of the most unpredictable figures in modern political history, becoming president-elect.
Thanks, Gary.